Okay, good morning. We're going to have a look at task 2 now, because there's quite a lot to do in task 2. So I'm going to just go through maybe the first and second points, and then we'll chunk that down and stop this video, and we'll screencast and we'll go on to a second one. All right, good. Right, we're back in the room. Okay, so we're going to just run through this. So we've got to do what's called a value analysis, and some of you have observed it's quite tricky to pin this down. From internet research, there's not a lot of great resources out there, or there wasn't one out last year, and some of the resources that you do find are in fact contradictory. So you've got to kind of thread your way through it and decide, what to do about it, really. So we have a case study at the end of this document, so let's slowly dive in. So define the terms value-added and non-value-added process. So let's just unpack that for a moment. A value-added process is anything that adds value to the product. For example, drilling a hole, or polishing it, or machining it, or adding hot water to your tea bag. Yeah, is adding value to the product because it's making it into a cup of tea that you could then sell or drink. Taking your cup of tea from the kitchen to the kitchen table does not add value to the product. Yeah, moving your thing from the drilling machine to the lathe does not add value to the product. So that would be a non-value added process. Okay, there are other non-value added processes, but that's a very straightforward example. Okay, right. Complete and record a value analysis exercise for the case study below. Okay, so 5 sections: information phase, analysis phase, creative phase, evaluation phase, and development phase. Okay, by doing this, you are doing the reporting phase. So when you type this up, I want 5 headings: information, analysis, creative, evaluation. Okay, and under each one of those, I want you to tell me what you've done and what it is and how you do it. Okay, so in this screencast, we're just going to have a look at the information phase, and we'll see how long that takes us. If it's quick, we'll do the analysis phase. If it's not, we'll move that on to a separate screencast, just so you can chunk it down, because there's an awful lot to unpack here. It is, it's big. I apologise for that, but that's what the spec asks you to do. So, even if you've got the BTEC book or have access to that online, it's still not a lot clearer in there. I think it gets down to about the analysis phase, and it just says Fred did the analysis. It's like, that's no good. How did Fred do the analysis? And it doesn't say, which was a little annoying. Right, information phase. Investigate and record the reasons for poor value for the bracket. This could include aspects such as lack of innovation within the organisation, or factors such as poor communication. Investigate other shelf racking systems. Include information about costing. So, in the information phase, then, we are researching around the product. We're finding out about the product. What does it do? How does it work? What do the competitors do? How the competitors offers easy for me to say, competitors offers different, better, worse than the thing that we are offering. Yeah, so it's looking at that. It's investigating. So I'd be expecting links to websites. I'd be expecting some pictures taken from websites. Obviously, telling me where you got that picture from, as part of our rules of copy and paste. So, saying, this is this, this is that, this works by this does that, this is blah, blah, blah. Okay. So that's one part of the investigation phase. The other part is just looking at the what information we have here. So, can we pull any dimensions out of this. We can pull out some dimensions there. So it's kind of looking at the information we've got and pulling out the salient points, the important points from that. So under the heading information, you can have from the assignment brief, we've got this information. So under the heading information, first of all, pull out the important bits from this information here. About product, and then research around product for different racking solutions. If you're lucky, or have I left that to you do? No, I've left that to you do. Okay. So, yeah, part of your task then would be to find out about different racking solutions. And by racking, I'm meaning things like a quick look. This kind of thing is what we're talking about. This kind of industrial modular shelving. Okay, so find a couple of places that manufacture it. Maybe see if you can find out. You might have to dig around their sites a bit. How do they attach shelves? What system do they use? How is it different from the one we've got in our case study? Okay, so like I say, links to web pages. Grab some of these pictures, photos from places. Tell me where you got them from. Link to other websites, other manufacturers of racking, and then you can compare those as part of your information phase. You can say, well, like you say, this company does it this way, this company does it this way. Okay, so that's your information phase. Now, where are we up to? We're up to 7 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go on to the analysis phase, because this is perhaps the trickiest bit. It's do a functional analysis of the bracket. Okay, so the question is, what on earth is a functional analysis? I think this is the bit in the BTEC book where it said, Fred did a functional analysis. That's great, thanks for that. What is a functional analysis? Well, it's looking at something and saying, well, what's its most basic thing that it does? What's the thing that if it doesn't do that thing, it's useless as that thing? So a cup, what's its primary function? To contain liquid might be a primary function. Okay, good morning. By popular demand. Right, sorry about that. Previous video had just finished converting and decided to play itself. Excellent. Right, so it's bringing it down to this, what we call noun-verb definition. What's the noun-verb definition? So perhaps the best place to look is these two websites here. There's a lot of other websites that you can, and hopefully still work, that you can. It's worth. Oops, it's not so exciting. It's worth reading around the topic. It's worth spending a little bit of time researching this and getting your head around it. But the too long did not read version is probably this website here. So a functional analysis technique. So have a look at it. You've got the FAST technique. We don't need to create a FAST diagram, although you can do if you want. So, for example, a FAST diagram of a mousetrap. So that takes you through perhaps an easier way to get into doing a functional analysis. I think that's somebody at the door. I'll be right. But essentially, it's boiling things down to their function. What's the most basic functions that this object needs to do in order to be useful, in order to still do what it does? But I mean, these are definitely worth looking at, just to help you think about this. And it's just boiling it down to that verb-noun, noun-verb pair. So if we look back at our assignment, let's have a look. So it's a bracket. You remember this triangle goes into the screen, not out of the screen. It goes into the corner there. So your shelf, it goes in. Sits on it. So what's the absolute minimum functions for this? And it's got to be that it supports the shelf. That's its support shelf. That might be one of them. Its primary function. It says here join together sections of a shelving unit. So can we reduce that to a join sections? Yeah, that's a 2-word definition of its absolute basic function. So that's something to get you started. But you might come up with others. But it's a value functional analysis. What's its function? What does it need to do? Yeah, what does it need to do? So that's what needs to go into that section on functional analysis. What's the absolute minimum that it needs to do to still be the thing that it is, or still be useful as the thing that it is? And again, if we sort of swing back to our PlayStation 4 controller, right, I've completely forgotten what I was saying after that interruption. What was I saying? Yeah, value analysis. So there's a couple of ways to tackle that. A couple of ways to tackle that. Is there a difference between the FAST technique and the FPS technique? The FACT technique aids the team in researching a consensus on understanding the project. So again, I think I said when we went through this in class, I don't mind if you work as a group for this. And for the next bit, really, just make sure that you flag up to me that you are working in a team. And I don't want, if there's 4 of you in a team, I don't want 4 exactly the same pieces of work. Obviously, you still need to write it up yourselves. But if you flag up to me that you are working in a team, then I won't be coming shouting at you because you've all got the same information or same results. So I'll leave that to you to sort out, given the circumstances. Right, I don't think there's much more to be said about that. It's, like I say, just boiling it down to that 2-word definition. So I'm going to stop there. Use the Value Analysis Canada website. It's about the best one I've found, the most easiest to understand that I've found on this subject. Again, you'll need to do a bit of effort, a bit of researching on this. All right. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.